Listen to the Chuck Banks Experience, and we are on Beagle Boulevard. This is Studio One. I hope everyone has had an amazing what do you call it? The end of your winter break, especially you educators out there. And as we get to gear up for basically kind of the solid run when we look at January through May and into early July when you look at professional development and that sort of stuff, we're getting ready to gear into perhaps some of the most important territory that we're going to see as we come back. But I hope everyone is refreshed. I hope everyone is fired up and ready to go. And today, I'm going to be talking about a couple different topics. It's kind of varying. And again, the Chuck Banks experience is a little bit different. We will have people and live guests eventually over there in the chair that I'll call it here in Studio One here on Beagle Boulevard. But just for now, we're just gonna kind of wing it in our own manner. I do want to throw out a couple of things here, especially when we look at the playoffs, because I did do a prediction of those games, and I I hate to toot my own horn, but I think I nailed it. I picked Penn State, Notre Dame, and I picked Ohio State and Texas. And when I mean, I kind of wanted Georgia to get in there because I picked them in the in our football pool with the coaches and things, but I just didn't see that happening in that mannerism. But I really think the national championship game, and I'm sorry Notre Dame and Penn State fans, but the national championship game will take place in the Cotton Bowl on Friday, January 10th at 6:30 p.m. and it's going to go down Ohio State versus Texas, and I'm going to take Ohio State by 10 points in that game. Right now I'm 100%, so you know what? I'm going to throw that out there. I think Ohio State wins this pretty easily. Texas is going to score some points, but Ohio State just has too much firepower from whence you can defeat them. Over on the other side, sorry Penn State, but I've got Notre Dame winning that ball game. Probably a close defensive struggle-ish battle. I'm gonna guess 17-10 or something like that will be the score. So your national championship game that I'm gonna pick is gonna be Ohio State versus Notre Dame. I'm not gonna choose that one yet. Obviously, as we're recording the Chuck Banks experience, we don't want to get too far out there. Um, Couple of games to basically keep in mind right now. I believe in the AFC, you've got the Miami Dolphins, the Denver Broncos, kind of vying for that seventh spot, and it looks like my Chiefs they're playing their third and fourth stringers. So I'm gonna guess that the Broncos will be in and Miami will be out. Sorry, guys, but sometimes that's the way it goes. Um, I've got a couple of things that I want to throw out there because I've talked time and time again about whether it's ADHD or whether it's oh, what do you call it? Can't think of the doggone word, but I get called it occasionally, and it's actually a good word. It's not a negative word, but I'm gonna look here. Five things that ADHDers are allergic to, and this is coming from the TikTok app, and I have found a lot of pretty good things when we look at. I follow this guy called the My ADHD Adventure, and he's got a lot of great stuff. He's got a book on there that I'm probably going to purchase myself because I think after reading this, I don't think necessarily that I was a complete butthole, as a father or as a friend or as a coach. I think I had ADHD and it was untreated. But one thing that people with ADHD are allergic to is micromanagement. I did start writing a book about uh, you know negative places to work, and I've worked in a lot of them over the years. I've had several different jobs, and you know it's kind of funny when you think about it, but micromanagement. Those that hover over us and watch us freeze ADHD brains need autonomy to thrive, and being micromanaged feels like being caged, sparking defiance and a complete shutdown. Much like in the classroom, if you're teaching and your student has ADHD and you're micromanaging every freaking little detail that person's going through, we can only imagine why they shut down, or why they're facing these questions, or where their brain's going. So that's one. Two, slow walkers. Yes, I hate slow walkers unless it's like me. It's kind of like road rage. I can't help it that I'm the best driver in the world, and I suffer from a little road rage. But slow walkers, it's definitely something that's an issue. Getting stuck behind someone strolling at a snail's pace feels like pure agony. Now, when I get behind slow people, I say, excuse me, or I find an alternative route. I'm old enough to be able to manage that ability. ADHD brains are wired for urgency, and waiting for someone to pick up the pace can feel unbearable. Ah, that's two for two. Three, unsolicited advice. And a lot of people give this to me. They have over the years. I don't know why I freaking worry about, other people's, mentality, or, their advice. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's good to get advice, but unsolicited advice can sometimes it can piss you off. Uh, have you tried making lists, or just focus harder? ADHD brains don't need quick fixes. We need understanding. These comments aren't helpful. They're just frustrating. You know, uh, man, you need to be more organized. You need to, to write down these lists to make sure you're good. Now, sometimes that's a pain in the ass. You know, like I in my work area, or like if I be I don't know. And anyway, it's lists are, I do a lot of lists, but I don't ask for unsolicited advice in regards to those lists. Small talk. I like a little small talk. So you could say that right now I'm 4 out of 5, but let me read there. How's the weather? Do you like this party? ADHDers can't stand surface level conversations. They're wired for deep, meaningful talks, and small talk feels like nails on a chalkboard sometimes. I will tell you that if you're interested in the conversation, small talk's good. Okay, or if you're really comfortable, like with when you're with a friend, or with a spouse, whatever, small talk can be good. It's kind of like I think the greatest Iowa thing ever is where you're walking by someone and says, "How you doing?" I say, "Just living the dream," but we don't understand it's one nightmare at a time. Group projects. Now, this is more for the student side of things. Too many cooks in the kitchen make ADHD brain spiral. Balancing opinions, deadlines, and communication feels like juggling knives. It can be messy and dangerous. Anyway, you can check this out. It's Thrive in Life with ADHD. It's a book, 96 Lessons from High Achievers with ADHD. It's really pretty good. I put a lot of stuff on my phone tonight, so I and again, we're recording this podcast live, both on YouTube, Coaching Culture and Athletics, and on Facebook, the Chuck Banks Experience. It's a separate entity, from Dog Pound Radio. It's not the same, but it's kind of under the same umbrella, if that makes any sense. Uh, again, for those that don't know, my name is Chuck Banks. I'm a teacher. I'm a coach. I run Dog Pound Radio. I'm basically the head of coaching culture and athletics. And again, the Chuck Banks Experience is a separate entity from where I work, and some of my views and opinions, again, aren't institutionalized when it comes to the Fort Madison Community School District. And I want to make sure that I throw that stuff out there because I think it's vital to be able to separate those things. Here's some more stuff in regards to ADHD and stuff that I wish I would have known, especially as an early father, or as an early husband. I know my parents probably thought there was something wrong, when it came to how I interacted as far as hyperactivity and stuff like that. ADHD is destroying your relationships, and you don't even realize it. Here's a couple things that if you're living with it, and it's not come to the forefront, or you haven't really written down that you might have this particular disorder, here's a few things to keep in mind. Adults with undiagnosed ADHD often struggle to form and maintain healthy, loving relationships. I was lucky. I was able, to marry the love of my life, Stephanie. And uh, again, we had our struggles and things like that, but um, for the most part, they're going to struggle a little bit to form those and maintain those healthy, loving relationships. It's not just about intention issues; it's impulsivity, emotional dysregulation, and constant feeling of being overwhelmed. Let me say that one more time. It's not just attention issues, okay? Now, there have been people out there that say that I make shit about me, and I'm sorry if I do. Um, this is I'm not doing it for attention, okay? I'm just not doing it. It's impulsivity, emotional dysregulation, and the constant feeling of being overwhelmed. I wrote that book, The Life of an Overthinker, and it had a lot of healing qualities in regards to how my brain ticks. Basically before stroke and before all that sort of stuff, and how I would engage, how I would get interact, and um, it's crazy. It's that constant feeling of being overwhelmed, and it happens all the time. Now, people say, "Why can't you relax? Why can't you just sit down on your couch and do nothing?" Well, my brain never stops. These challenges can lead to communication breakdowns, unmet needs, and unintentional neglect of your partner. And it can also do that with your children. And, if again, this is the undiagnosed aspects of it. Here's a few more things, and then I'm going to wrap up my ADHD comments for tonight because we're about 12 minutes in, and I want to make sure that I cover everything humanely possible that's going on in the realm of Chuck Banks this week. ADHD is your brain screaming emergency over sending a basic email. True. We get emails, and we overanalyze those emails, even the most basic, minute emails, and sometimes it can be tough. The irony, we're actually beasts in a real crisis, though, but that buildup, it's pure torture. Okay, when you want to talk about a how our brains work as a person living with ADHD, and you have this big project, and you wonder why we wait till the night before. It's because we're thinking. It's almost like self sabotage, but excuse me, we have to break through every scenario to make sure that it's good. Stop trying to fix it. We can solve problems, or we can solve impossible problems with while everything's on fire, but it's a little bit different otherwise. It's like this. I don't know how many times that there's basic things that I have to fix. Hang on just a second. Yeah, I'm podcasting. What do you need? Hang on. All right, so I'm back. Sorry about that. I was talking about ADHD, and I kind of lost my train of thought, which is it's kind of fun, to hit that stuff, right? Okay. Also, people, that look at adult ADHD and how you live with it, they think that you're constantly hyper. Now, I will tell you that people with ADHD, especially myself, if I'm really interested in the subject, I engulf myself in that, and and basically I can eat it up and spit it out. Like when I look at football and I look at analyzing plays both defensively, offensively, and all that sort of stuff. When it was in basketball, I could do the same things. When analyzing an opponent's offense and come up with various defensive strategies in order to accomplish those aspects. But if I'm not interested, might as well forget about it. That's kind of the way it is. All right, so one last thing that I found this week that I thought was extremely important to share is the 7 harsh realities of growing up. And this is coming from one of my friends, Brian Hutchinson. He was 3 years ahead of me in high school. Um, he's doing great with himself. But the 7 harsh realities of growing up. Your parents were figuring it out just like you are. Um, and again, labels. Be easy on your parents because they're still trying to figure out things. Especially if they've never had any kids, man. They're learning how to be a parent. 2, friends can turn into strangers faster than you would expect. And I've got some great friends that I tried to contact over break, and they've changed their phone numbers. I'm still friends with them on uh, social media and stuff like that, but they changed their phone numbers. I think in all reality, I consistently communicate with one childhood friend um, on at least a monthly basis. 3, life doesn't get easier. You just get stronger through the experiences that you're going to go through, and that's going to be important. Life doesn't get easier. It does not. Even I look back at my 20s. Life hasn't gotten easier since my 20s. No one will care about your excuses, only your results. That one hits deep. No one will care about your excuses, only your results. And that's where when we get into this woe is me mentality, when those roadblocks can destroy your ability to succeed. Okay, that's important. Next one, success often means sacrificing comfort. I think I said this on maybe my last one, or I did it on a thing. Okay, so um, again, you have to sacrifice your comfort. You either do it ahead of time or you do it late. Okay, it's kind of like you know what? Should I save up for that car or should I buy the car right now and then I'm going to be uncomfortable until that car's paid off? Sacrifice is a real deal, especially in our society, right? People you love will hurt you, intentionally or not. And man, it's that one slaps you in the face all the time. The only truly, yeah, people you love will hurt you. Good stuff. And this guy got an email on an encrypted aspect, and I know it's all over and I know it's all over TikTok and social media, but I don't know whether my listeners listen to this stuff. But anyway, in that, it was the guy that blew up the Tesla in Las Vegas in front of Trump Tower. And it's pretty intriguing. I'm not going to give you the play-by-play. If you want to go take a listen, I don't often tell other tell other my listeners to go listen to other podcasters, but there's a lot of good stuff out there. So check that out and email me coachingcultureandathletics@gmail.com and tell me what you think of that. Because it kind of blew me away. Part 3, snowstorm. Oh man, we were supposed to get. I wanted to say what was it? What did they say in Southeast Iowa? 5 to 8 inches of snow, and right now we have a half inch, I think, out there. But I think I jinxed it. I thought we were going to get a 2-hour delay tomorrow, but in reality, I jinxed it, and I went out and bought a new shovel, and I got some salt. But anyway, no. But in all seriousness, further south of us, they got destroyed, man. I think my brother down on the southern tip of Illinois is just got ice all day. Still has power. My mother-in-law in Columbia got a lot of snow, I think. But that's kind of that aspect. Dog Pound Radio, I do want to give a shout out to that. We will be live this week. We will be covering Thursday night's men's and women's wrestling meet. That'll be at home in the Hound Dome. If you don't have the opportunity to get there, to see it in person though is freaking awesome. Hey Cora, she's saying hi. No snow in her area of Texas. I think it was just a small band. It was kind of a strange storm that's pushing through there. So Dog Pound Thursday night. On Saturday, there's going to be a quad. I think yeah, it's a quad. So you're going to have JV boys, JV girls, varsity boys. They're going to take on Central Lee, and on that night, actually, I'm the the head girls tennis coach as well, and we're going to be doing a 50-50 raffle. So we're going to be doing that, and then also reminder tennis girls, especially if you listen to this, this episode. We are also in the concession stand on Thursday night this week. Um, for as far as anything else goes, the only thing that I can tell you is we have to be nicer to each other, be